Hey guys, it's Sarah here. We're just doing a small little 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter swipe today. It's another one in my series. I'm using lots of coppers and blues. I'm considering making sort of a big piece with all of these, like on attached to another canvas or using them together in some way. And I'm just playing around with the colors and this particular technique. And as you can see here, I am just painting the canvas. I cheated. All I did was put some white paint on and then like hand mixed a bit of floetrol on top of it and just like, well, yeah, whatever does. Make sure you do the sides of the canvas. I do like putting a layer on, even though I'm not tilting this, I do like to put a layer of the white on the bottom with a little bit of floetrol as well. I'm just using mixtures of paints here I made up the other day. It's just a plain black mixed with floetrol and no silicone in that one, and then these are just a couple of mixes of my favorite blues. So the darkest one there is a phthalo blue and black, and the other one is a mixture of turquoise, I'll have to get the name is that, a little bit of turquoise, a little bit of black, tiny bit of green mixed in, and it's a mixture I use a lot of, so I'll put a link down below. And then this one is a pale mix that I have made up as well, and that's got a lot of metallic pearl, shiny, shimmery. There's an Amsterdam colour shift paint in there as well, and white and things blended in. And then that's just a random copies all mixed together with some floetrol. The blue paints have a little bit of silicone in them as well. And then just adding in little bits of gold. Making sure I get some paint on the actual edges of the canvas, otherwise when you swipe it you're going to end up with holes on the side of your canvas, which you don't want. And you don't want to end up with big areas of no paint in there either, but I don't really want to tilt and swipe them off. As you can see, my paints are quite thick, so tilting these doesn't work very well. I'd need to thin them down. They're mixed with paint, floetrol and a little bit of water. But I find the global paints are quite thick, and yeah, I don't like tilting and wasting all that paint, you know, just dripping everywhere. So this is just something I've been playing with. These ones are a little bit thinner paints. The pink that's going on there now, that is a different brand of paint, and it is quite thin. And they're just going in with some metallic pearl white and little bits of gold, just to get the bottoms in there. You can see it there. It's just a mixture of paint. I probably used a bit too much paint on this one, but it's okay. Now I just use paper towels to swipe with, damp paper towels. I chop them in half so I can either go long ways or turn them over and use them short, but I normally end up chopping them up anyway. And take your time with this, pop it in and wiggle it around. Make sure you get a little bit of paint. Don't just dunk it in and go, ah! It doesn't quite work. And because I'm not tilting the paint off, I'm going to dab the sides of the canvas. I think I've cut out little bits of this in the video, so you don't need to see me dabbing the paint on the side of the canvas all the time. So there you go. So you can see how you get quite a good bit of paint on the side of that, which is what you want. And then you can use that colour to do the sides. You can see I got a tiny hole in there, so I just went back with that little piece of paper towel. Hold it in, let it sit there, soak up a bit of paint and drag it through, and you can see those lovely big you know, like cells and things that are coming through there. And I love the way these come out with those great big bubbles without tilting or torching or anything like that. They just sort of pop straight through, and there we go, just dabbing it on the side. I think tilting it off does look a little bit better, but at the same time, yeah, I don't like tilting as much. There's just a little hole in there as well, just a spot that the paint hadn't quite caught. And make sure when you're doing this that you do get that swipe right over to the side, otherwise you end up with, you know, holes on the side if you don't quite get your paper towel over or get paint on the top part of that paper towel on the side. Now just dabbing it through. Now I was quite liking the way this one went, and I was like, yeah, let's put some gold spots in the middle of it in a minute. And I was like, yay, that's looking great. Let's see if we can do something with that. And then it all kind of went to pot and we had to try and fix it. So we'll get there. But I just love these colours. I love the blues and the coppers mixing together. But I was experimenting with these colours on this size canvas with some different techniques. I don't know if you just saw the last one I've done, which was a string pull, which I hated. I am going to be going back to that, I think, and doing an over painting on that. I quite like going back after they've dried and painting over them, either, you know, with some sort of design, adding in some other colours or something along those lines. So at this point I was like, yeah, this is going okay. And I thought I wanted a darker strip in the middle, and I was like, that's just not doing it for me. I liked the colours of the little bubbles around it, and I'm like, it's not quite what I was going for. Let's try again. And I thought I'd add a little bit of dark to each of the corners, and that didn't work, and I wasn't happy with that at all. It was okay. As you can see, you're just tilting it. The paint's quite thick. It's not running off the sides of the canvas too much. Yeah. So I was like, right, let's get some copper and put some more copper in the center. Was that gold? Copper. Yeah, it's copper. I was like, almost wish I'd left it there a little bit more. I thought, oh, okay, let's just pull some of those colours through. But the paint was quite thick. If it had been a little bit thinner, perhaps pulling that through might have worked a little bit better. But the paint in the centre there is quite, yeah. I thought, oh, okay, let's... Maybe I should have used my palette knife for this part. Swiped it back through and like, no, don't like that either. The original idea with this one was to do some sort of more non-directional swipes and things on it, and yeah, just it never happened. And then I tried to fix it to make it look that way, and then yeah. But just while we're looking at that muddy mess in the middle, the cells and things down the bottom and the top there are looking great, and I love those. And I guess the good thing about this particular way of doing it is because you've got all these little bits of paint. When you swipe over the top, you do end up with some fairly decent areas of those cells popping through, and I do like it. It does look good with those. The middle of this is, yeah, it's not my favorite. I think again this is one that I might do just a little bit of a touch up post-production when it's fully dry, just to pop a little bit of extra in. It's not too bad with the in the collection. It matches quite nicely, so it's just not my most favorite one of them. But there we go. So that is how it looks, and thanks for watching.